So, for those of you that don't know, let me give you a quick overview of Tushar. So, Tushar Imdad is a high performance coach. He's a writer, he is a course creator. He's someone who's basically attracted people from all over the world in different things, whether they're CEOs, whether they're professionals, housewives, dentists, scholars. The kind of things that he does, you'll see they actually help every person in their life and they add value in some ways, because he's a specialist when it comes to time management. He's had his blogs kind of published on places like Seeker's Guidance, Productive Muslim, and also his background is actually all in teaching, and I'm sure we're going to hear all about that. He's a tutor, he's trained teachers, and he's worked a lot of the time with Muslim schools and Muslim kind of institutions as well. So, Tushar, welcome once again. Jazakallah khair for joining me. I'm really, really happy that we're going to be spending all this time, inshallah. And like I said, I have booked out like hours now. So normally, like the show goes on for anywhere from 45 minutes to up to 2 hours, right? So let's see how we kind of get along, right?
You know, the first time management workshop I went to, organized by a Muslim, I think it was advertised to be like an hour, and it, it finished really late, like 2 hours. It was
Really?
quite ironic. Desi time, yeah, DST.
Oh man, mashallah. Okay, great. So let's start with the question that I always ask everyone, right? Which is, what was 10-year-old Tushar like?
Yeah, 10-year-old, subhanAllah. I mean, I remember at that age, I was like kind of, year 5, and I remember my teacher, one of the first big words I remember, he said, Tushar, you're very inquisitive. I said, what does that mean? So you ask lots of questions. And that stayed with me to this day. My son, my relatively new son, is extremely inquisitive, right? So it's so I was quite inquisitive. I remember being a bit of a chess champion at the time before it became more practicing and kind of gave it up. But I used to play a lot of chess at city level and county level. And like, I was watching some of your interviews with Amin and Faisal. I noticed they were voracious readers. I wouldn't say I was a voracious reader, but I did read a lot. And luckily I was, my dad, I had like a tiger dad. Like he's a GP, doctor from Bangladesh, really pushed me, anything less than straight A's, he was never happy, right? And so he pushed me to read. So we actually had a habit, like he would actually force me to, I'd get these science books, like these fact books of science and things you'd get from W.H. Smith, and he'd make me copy it out, right? So I'd have like, habits like that. And I even, so I read things like Sherlock Holmes, the entire collection by the age of 9. I managed to finish that. And so, yeah, I used to read quite a lot. But I wouldn't say that I was particularly gifted or anything until high school. And when I went into high school, from high school right up to my uni days, I was a type of child, the type of teenager who just threw myself at everything school institution offered to me. So I was in the, I was in the drama club, I was in the engineers club, I was in the cricket team, the cross country team. I was winning the debating, public speaking. So I used to kind of embrace everything, And then, as I got older into college, I was always kind of that type of person who loved taking part in. I wasn't academically super, but I was good, but I used to enjoy all the extracurricular stuff as well. Which my dad didn't understand it. He was more like, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. You should just get straight A's, But I think that's how I describe my childhood, as someone who just loved to kind of embrace all the different opportunities. And one thing which I think is interesting from a time management perspective is that I had a very nice child. My memories of childhood were very nice, alhamdulillah. And I think you're from a similar era to me, growing up in the 80s. Yeah. I actually remember my street where there weren't that many cars, and I don't know if you did this. We would play street football, and I knew everyone in every. Even now I can remember. Ian was there, Stuart was there. I remember everyone in the street. Right? It was mainly non-Muslim, but it was fine. There's no problems. And I had a very happy childhood. Primary school, none of these targets and stuff, right? I just remember the Wendy house, right? It was just very happy. And the thing is, my dad made me work hard. Like, I had to do things which no other child did. Like, I'd have to write things out of the science book and do extra chores, these extra kind of intellectual chores, if you like. But he always let me play. So I think I've always had this work hard, play hard kind of philosophy. And right to this day, I always do. I really value my free time. And me and my wife, we go on regular cottage breaks. We have our sacred time every evening, So I think that work-life balance thing I think it started maybe from my dad, who, even though he was very strict, he took us out every weekend. We'd go abroad on holidays, very middle-class kind of lifestyle. But I think I took that from him. He was very strict, very demanding, very high expectations, but he definitely let me play.